Mhm. Hi there.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear us and you can see us. Just
Yeah,
let us know, please.
yeah, write in the chat just so we are sure that you can hear us and see us.
And we are not on our own.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. We will
It would be
wait a
good.
moment just for all of you to join, so no worries here. We see that some of you are there, but we need to make sure that everything is working correctly. Also, there's a bit of a lag before we receive what you send us a message, so worry not. We will get back to you, answer any of your questions probably after a few moments after we receive your messages.
We
Yeah, so
know that we have like good. We have to compete with all the matches on TV. Hopefully,
yeah, we actually are now within this time slot we have for this webinar is in a break between those World Cup matches. So hopefully you will find time to be here with us. And I promise you, we will finish before the next match starts. Okay, so we get some messages. Hi there.
hello. Thank you for confirming that you are on the other side, waiting for us. Where are you from? If I'll try to read your, I think, nickname,
Yeah, I think it's a
Natashkwa.
nickname. Yeah.
Natashkwa,
Okay. Okay, well, UK.
UK.
Okay.
Great.
Hi there, guys.
Joanna, hello.
Oh, great. We have confirmation that you can hear us and see us. Great. So I think we
Perfect.
may slowly begin our webinar for today. Yeah, it's those who will come in later, they will be able to watch the recording because this will be recorded and uploaded on our YouTube channel. So no worries.
So let me do a short introduction. I will tell you a few words about our company, about Sylvia, about me, and then we will proceed with our webinar. So let's start. We have somebody from Brian from Toronto, Canada. Great to have you there. Somebody from Lublin. This is where I come from.
It is in
So
Poland.
yes, great to have you, Joanna. So let's start. Good to have you all during our today's webinar. Um you are more than welcome to visit and subscribe to our Executive Explorer YouTube channel and be up to date with all the materials that we share on this site. Um, just a few words of introduction about our company. So we're from X Plus, a company who is among the top 1% of Microsoft partners worldwide. So we are the Microsoft Inner Circle member. We specialize in the implementation and maintenance of Microsoft Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Also, we're the vendor of a wide range of products which aim to help make our clients, their business lives easier, working on Dynamics environment. I'm Mariusz, I'm Executive Explorer Sales Lead, and I'm today's co-host of the webinar named How to Successfully Optimize Processes in D365 Finance and Operations using mining and task mining tools. Together with me, there is Sylvia. Sylvia is Executive Explorer's product owner. Sylvia has a great experience working as a business analytic in Dynamics AX support. As a business analytic, and Sylvia used to work as a Dynamics AX support. That's how it was supposed to be in the first place. Sorry for this mistake. We have something new for you. We would like to do a quick survey. So, Sylvia, can you?
Yeah, you actually
tell
the
about?
survey will be visible in your YouTube on YouTube here. The question will be whether are you planning any process optimization in the nearest future. So just yes, no. If you could just just for just to let us know what are your plans towards it. So if you plan any business optimization, please vote now. You should be able to see the questionnaire, the survey, and after you finish, let's give ourselves a minute or two. We will let you know what are the results, so that all of us will know how do we approach this subject, right? It is especially, you could say, hot subject right now when we are thinking about what awaits us in the future, this global crisis. The economy, well, does not look the future for the economy does not really look very bright, at least the nearest future. So this topic of optimization appears quite often, and we'd like to know your feelings on it. So yeah, if all of you voted right now, then we can close the survey. And once we get the information about this result, I will share them with you, but not to wait meaninglessly. In the meanwhile, we can proceed with this webinar, with this presentation. Mariusz, if you could continue.
Yes. So basically, the agenda for today's meeting is to focus on the main challenges as regards process optimization in D365. Sylvia will tell you about the ways how to lower the risk of failure with the use of process mining and task mining. Sylvia also will tell you about the best approach to process optimization projects and about the methods of verification of this optimization results. We'll tell you about Executive Explorer, which is our data mining innovative tool. And Sylvia will basically focus on task and process mining that is done with the use of Executive Explorer. And we will finish with Q&A session at the end of our today's meeting. So I think we are ready to start, Sylvia.
Okay, I will get from here. Just one quick thing regarding the Q&A part. Of course, we'll answer your questions at the end, but if you have any questions throughout this webinar, please write them down in the chat. We will we will just collect those questions and answer them at the end. So feel free to ask them anytime. It's also better for us if you write them quicker, because as I said, there is this lag before we see what you actually write. There's a minute or two waiting time. So at any time, please feel free to ask the questions. And one more thing before we start, the results of the questionnaire is that 71% of you guys said that you do plan to optimize processes, and 28% of you said that you don't. So yeah, so we can see here that there is a majority of you guys who are thinking about it, who are actually having plans. So yeah, so good to know. So let's now continue with our webinar. So at first, I would like to talk to you guys about the main challenges with process optimization in D365. Of course, there are some challenges that are, that can be applicable to other solutions, and I will also mention them just to, make sure that to help you actually address them, to make you aware of them. Some may be obvious, but other less so, but still, even those obvious ones, so there are sometimes that we do not really think about it in such a way, and we can miss those obvious ones. So what obstacles you may need to face when optimizing your processes is, first of all, and the biggest obstacle actually it is, that can impact the whole project and even make it fail, is the lack of objective knowledge. Uh, it is difficult to get objective data for your processes to know what actually make your assumptions on based on. So think of it like this: you may have documentation. If you do not, there is a problem. You need to actually ask your users about their processes, and what they say is tell you they will be from their own perspective. You will see what problems they think they have, and even if you were to ask people from the same team, they may give you different information. And well, of course you will not ask everybody in your organization, because if you were to ask them, you would spend really a lot of time to simply get this information, and still the result would be that you get subjective knowledge from all of them. So how to get objective knowledge? As I said, there is process documentation, but still very often it is not updated. Sometimes it's not up to date. Well, it is difficult to actually always make sure that all the processes reflect the reality, right? And what's even bigger issue here is that documentation only shows you the perfect variant of the process that you have. And in reality, and as well will show you later on during the showcase, is that within a single process, they may exist several different variants. Some of them more optimal than others, of them more prone to errors, but still they exist. And if you have only documentation, you may not be aware of them. So the lack of actually objective knowledge, objective data may impact negatively your project, your optimization project, and actually it is a challenge you need to face, because it is one of the most important thing here, to make assumptions based on objective data. Additional thing is the lack of resources, and this is something that very often when I talk to our customers, this is something they say, that they do not have people, they do not have competencies and other resources to actually make those optimizations. They know that they have a problem, but they are unable to address it because they don't know how to do it, right? So using external resources it may be good here, or gaining competencies related quality management like Lean or Six Sigma. Those will also give you some pointers into what direction you should go. And also, of course, such resources as developers or business analysts, those are, if you do not have them in your organization, this may be difficult to get hands-on and recruit, because well, the world we live in now makes those people very desirable in organizations. But also there are companies that may help you out, such as our company. So what I want to say right now is that you need to find a way that best suits you to address those needs of this need of resources, and if there is a lack of it, how to address it. Additionally, lack of tools. Yeah, and I mean here specialized tools that will help you have control over your project, optimization project. You need to, first of all, have a tool that will, of course, let you create and, of course, also present the way the processes look like in your organization. There are various tools like this, like Visio, for example, or Draw.io, right? Those are very simple tools, but also project management tools may be handy, reporting tools, and yeah, spoiler alert, process mining tools would really be handy here, but more about how they would help you out a bit later on. Additional obstacle that you may face is then ineffective result measurement. And this is, guys, this is a problem that is so often happens that this is really worrying, because uh, even if we finish the project as a success, we actually are not really able to say it was a success, because is it success to implement an optimization, or the success is to actually gain value from it? So if you want the process to generate less costs, right, to generate a significant saving, if we only say that we succeeded because we implement optimization, that then we are actually incorrect here, because success here would be actually getting the result we wanted. So having savings. This is mostly the result we want, right? And it is very difficult to actually measure it, because we need to compare how much the process cost before and now how much does it cost. So we need to have ways of measure those results, and we need to have them before we actually implement them, so that we can make this comparison. Additional problem is ineffective risk management, and this is very closely related to the problem of lack of objective knowledge, because if we even implement risk management in such projects, there are so many assumptions based on unobjective truth, on subjective truth actually, that it is almost impossible to manage those risks. New risks appear, those which we defined did not happen at all, or happened at a totally different phase that we expected. So this is also an obstacle we need to face, and I would really recommend actually to introducing this risk management, especially if we do not have much of this objective knowledge here. And another problem is prolonged delivery. Uh, when we think about optimization project, we should also think about the return of the investment, right? So after how much time the investment which we've made on this optimization would be returned. So from which point of time we will start gaining actually something from that. And if we made those assumptions at the beginning, it may turn out that we've incorrectly assumed how much work it would need, how much cost this optimization would generate, additional cost. And if we prolong the delivery, first of all, we may go to such costs that would make this project, well, not really profitable. And second of all, if in those cases, rare cases, extreme cases, the optimization may no longer be needed, no longer valuable. It took so long that the process changed in a different way on its own. So this is also something that you need to be aware of. And moving on, guys. So how can we lower the risk of failure with the use of process mining and task mining? Let me first tell you about process mining and task mining, what it actually is. I'm sure that most of you guys who are here already know it, but just to those of you who are new to this topic, let me in a sentence or two just explain it. So process mining, it is a way of getting information about processes, about business processes from data. So in other words, we get a system from which we collect data, and then based on that, unique algorithms work and look for processes and present them as they are. So this is actually something that does not really require any, human work. This doesn't really require creating documentation, and it actually shows you what processes you have, what they look like, how they change over time. And task mining here is actually we could say a part of process mining, because a process consists of tasks, right? One process may have several tasks performed by different teams. So this is also a way of finding those tasks, what they look like within those processes. And it's all being done automatically by a tool. So you just open the tool which offers process mining and see exactly the results of all this analysis that is being done by technology. And of course, there are tools dedicated to process mining. We have such a tool ourselves. I'm sure some of you have at least seen it. This is Executive Explorer, which I will show you later. And what makes our tool unique is that it is dedicated to process mining and task mining in Dynamics environment, in Dynamics 365, finance and operation, and of course this previous version, AX 2012 and AX 2009. And those tools well, there are really not many tools dedicated to Dynamics. Actually, I think we are the only one. I haven't found another solution yet. There are some solutions which are, more universal. Let's say like this, that they are applicable to different tools. But when talking to our customers, when making the analysis on our own, it turned out that Dynamics is quite problematic. And we've actually recently talked to a customer who has performed 3 POCs, proof of concepts, and to check how different tools address processes in Dynamics and other solutions they had. And they said that all of them failed on Dynamics environment because due to its complexity, to its also the number of different complex data it offers, and reading in a way that could be read from other solutions is very challenging here. And what we've done, we actually addressed this process. We decided to focus mostly on Dynamics to make sure that the tool itself, that the process mining would work perfectly there. And this is what our tool is for now dedicated to. Of course, we are thinking right now about expanding its use, but Dynamics is what we actually specialize in right now. And what actually such tools for process mining offer you guys? So first of all, you will be able to make more conscious decisions about selecting processes for optimization. In other words, you will not need to, depend on what some users say, some of your employees say, yeah, because well, how often it happens that we do actually what the person who is complaining the loudest says, right? They say that their process is the most crucial, that it is more difficult, needs to be optimized, and it may turn out that it could wait, that there are some processes that need to be addressed sooner. So with use of process mining tools, we actually see what processes should be optimized based on different data. Let's say we want to optimize the most expensive process, we will see it, or we want to optimize, the one that is used that have the greatest number of execution. Also, we can do it, yeah. So based basing on data shown by such tools, we can actually make those decisions and make them consciously. What else? We also save significant time and money on updating documentation and interviewing users. If we have a large company, if we have different subsidiaries, maintaining documentations, creating and maintaining that is really, really time consuming, and it is still, as I said, not really 100% effective. It will not show you all the variants are there. Process mining tools will show you what variants are there of the processes. The documentation will actually be creating on its own, and it will show you how those processes evolve. And what more? Also, we are able to see what users are doing in the system in such a way that we'll be able to monitor their allocation to processes. We'll be able to see how much time they spend on given processes, whether some users are more effective than others with those processes, why they are like this, because there are very many reasons, right? Some may be champions, some maybe have really a great way of performing processes, other may be maybe working on old computers, and the performance of those computers may impact their performance, right? So those are the information that we need to take into consideration, and tools such as our Executive Explorer will let you access this information. And of course, additional benefits you will get: enhanced analysis, right? So you have actually all you need for having process analyzing. Also process support of the processes. You are able to actually see what was being done by whom in the system, what they've typed, what they've done, and so you are able to perform root cause analysis, not in days, weeks, but in minutes. So this is very, very interesting. I've talked some more about it last time. So if you're interested, I would recommend you watching the previous session. Of course, the security, because you also can monitor who has access to what, who changes what in the system. And of course, tests in such a way that, for example, if you also are our client of Executive Automats, you can generate templates from our Executive Explorer and upload them directly to Automats, and you have ready-made test scenarios for recording. Additional, of course, if you do not have this Executive Automats tool, you can also use Executive Explorer as a solution that will allow you to create those tests based on real life information, how the processes really look like. Now let's talk a little bit about best approach to optimization of processes. Think about it of these projects, right? And before I will tell you about some recommendations, I would like to make you aware of one thing, that 70% of big process improvement projects fail. And why do they fail? Well, mostly because of the lack of objective data. There are too many assumptions, and because of that, and well, many the things that could fail, and they end as failure, and people are discouraged to ever perform such projects again. But of course, this is only one reason. Yeah. What's more, over 11% of money invested in such project is wasted because of poor project performance. So this is also related to risk management, right? The more assumptions we have, which are unsupported by objective data, the more chaos gets there, and the more problematic the project gets. And if we talk about best practices, of course, there are many tips, many instructions to show you and tell you how to ensure the project will succeed. But I would like to name three, which I really would like, to be underlined, to be highlighted here, just so, maybe you will remember it when you have such projects in your organization. First of all, make assumptions based on objective data. Make sure before you start this project that you have access to the data. If you do not collect it, then think of a solution that would help you get it. The more data you have, the less risk of failure there is. So such a thing may be this process mining tool, right? This is actually a perfect solution for it, but you may also have another ways which you want to address. But it's very important that the assumptions you made in the project are based on objective data. Second of all is to divide your big project into smaller ones. I have encountered many projects when the management board decided that they want now to make a huge change in organization, introduce lean management, or to bring the whole organization to the next level, and so everybody now works on improving the processes they work on. And this is something very new very often to the organization, right? So if you make such a big project which you have no competencies in, which you lack experience, actually, there is a huge chance you will fail. It is better to actually conduct it as a small projects. Start with very small first, because then, of course, they are easier to manage. That's one thing. But the second thing is you will be able to learn from experience. So even if the first small project will fail or have lots of mistakes done, you have lessons that you've learned and you can apply them to the next project. And also those, small success stories of those successful projects, you can share it within your organization, and you can actually make your employees, make the people more willing to actually participate in such projects, because they see results fast, right? With big projects, they come very well. They come late. Those results of big projects, if they come, if they are something you are willing to share with, if the project did not fail, right? But with small projects, you can very quickly get the success stories here and share them. And the last thing which I've seen, which seems to be very often omitted, is to check on your progress frequently. very often it's like this, that management board or a person who declares that they want the organization or the team to optimize the processes, says that at the beginning of the project and at the end. And that's a big mistake, because in the meanwhile the project lives its own life. It may have go off the curse, which may be bad, of course, and it may have stuck to the curse, which also could be bad, right? Because maybe there was a need of some adjustments, of some changes, but people were so blindly focused on what they were told to do that they did not stop and think about it, whether it makes sense or not. So having somebody to actually have this more objective view on everything, and having them check on the progress of the project frequently is crucial here. And I'm not meaning here to look at it on every few months, but as often as you can. It will really, really help you ensure the success of the project. Okay, and now let's talk about how to verify optimization results. So let's say we have finished our project. We have seen it as a successful in such a way that we have implemented the solution we wanted. We implemented the changes we wanted. But now we need to see if it brought the results we wanted, right? So we need, first of all, to compare the performance of the whole process as it was before the optimization and as it is now. And why I'm talking about the whole process, because very often when we optimize processes, we simply focus either on optimizing tasks or just some simple part of the project of the process that there are. But we need to know how the process as a whole works, right? Because it sometimes happens that when we optimize one part of the process, it may negatively impact another part of the process. So we need to make sure that we actually brought the value to the whole process, not only to a part of it. Another thing is we need to compare the cost and the time that users spend on the process before and after the optimization, to make sure that the value is there. And also we need to check other indicators, such as the number of errors it generates, right? Because even if now the process were to work faster, it may have generate lots of errors, and it requires work from other teams, from support teams. So if we were to calculate all of it, it may turn out that this process has not brought us any savings at all due to those due to those errors. And also verify the return of the investment to ensure that actually we are on the right track to have this the investment returned. Okay, guys. Now I think we have come to a part about me telling you a little bit more about our Executive Explorer tool, and also showing you in action. First of all, I would like to tell you how it works, what makes it tick, so to say, and so that you actually understand all that is needed here. So first of all, our solution captures user behavior, and actually it captures users' activities, everything they do, every mouse click in the system, what they type into fields, what options they choose, what they select, everything actually they do, what they search for, everything is being recorded. The users are not impacted negatively by this recording. They do not feel it really. So so this is actually a great thing that this is being done. They are almost unaware of it. And what's next? The data, collected data, is being stored in a database, and on this data we apply our big data analysis engine, which uses a unique algorithm and automatically finds processes that there are and the potential for automation of those processes. And all those results of this analysis is being presented in a web application, which as I'm going to show you in a moment. Yeah, guys. Now about free trial. If Mariusz, could you say a few words?
Yes, hello back. Thank you, Sylvia, for all your work during today's session. Yes, about the Executive Explorer free trial. You can sign up through our website and have a 1 week long free trial with our assistance, where you work on our environment, and it's our test data. You get basic training. You learn how to analyze processes in our tool, and you can easily evaluate our tool, ask questions. We are happy to assist during this free trial, so you are not left alone. Yes, so come and order your own free trial, and I will be happy to help you with it. So I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, that's right. You can see this link to sign up for the free trial in the chat, so you can use it to sign up. And thank you, Mariusz, for saying that. And I think now it would be good to come into the last, not last, actually the Q&A would be last, but to the, let's say, the best, at least my favorite part of these sessions is to show you the tool itself, actually. So I'm going now to present you our Executive Explorer. Yeah, what I've opened right now is our dashboard. It is something we've recently introduced. You've made remember from our previous sessions that I've told you that we are working on a new reporting engine here, and we are using Power BI tool. So yes, so this is the first dashboard we've prepared. I wanted to share it with you guys, and not to go into details, but what it offers you is like this perspective, a general perspective on what actually happens in the system. Like let's take into account this calendar. We actually may see during which hours the people are using Explorer the most, right? Depending on a given day, we can decide on a given month which we want to see, or a given, the period of time we can choose more, just what we actually want to choose the number of week and so on. So this is some basic information we can get, and thanks to that, actually, we see we have a starting point to actually notice whether there are some processes that need to be addressed quicker. Why? Because there are, as you know, this is obvious knowledge, right? That in accounting and finance processes, some of them happen only at a given time within a month, and those processes may be crucial, but they may not happen as so often, right? And they may require some additional workload. So this was one question our customer asked us. They wanted to know what was the workload during the month end, right? The closing of a month. And this is also that will show you whether really people are really working long hours to complete their tasks or not. What's more, of course, this report also offers some additional information about some areas which are covered by processes the most, about users, about companies you have. You may also to analyze the slowest steps in processes which may impact the system negatively. Also, those most often used processes, those most cost-heavy processes, and processes with the highest number of variants, and many more. There is also a report of the system performance, but I will not talk to you about it right now. I think we need to focus more on the things related to the topic of today's presentation. So let me open a tab with a list of all processes that our tool found. As I said, it used process mining and task mining to actually analyze the data and decide what processes there are. And what we've got here is a table which presents processes with information such as the number of execution of the process, the number of users who use these processes. And guys, what you see here is test data. So of course the values here are much lower than they would be in real life, right? And let's continue. What else we've got here? The average number of steps for process, average time it takes, the total time it takes, and the cost of the process. Those are actually the most important information. You may also decide to, to bring some more information. Here's the grid, which allows you to have additional information present here. But let's focus right now on these ones. And some of you ask me when I present this, how do we calculate the cost? If you wish to have, make the exact cost of the process, you just need to, provide information about how much actually this is not a better way to say it, but how much your employees cost you, you cost the organization, right? And if you, for each person, for each worker, if you write the amount they earn or that they cost you, you may then see, our system will calculate for you how much the process actually costs. Okay, so based on that, we are able to actually start making decisions about which process to choose for optimization, right? Let's say that I want to optimize the most expensive process, which is sales order here. Let me see some details. And what I've got here is actually a process graph, which shows you the steps. I would expand it and show you it a moment later, but right now I would like to focus on those variants. I've talked to you about it, that there exists different variants of processes, some more optimal than other. Let's say I want to focus on the first one. Let's expand it, zoom it in a bit, so we can see actually what this process look like. This is So we see here, we begin at the start, of course, and we follow the arrows. So yeah, so here are the so we're talking about sales order. So there is a click on the new customer account, name, click save, then click sales order. So this is a process which involved creating a new a sales order for a new customer. Yeah, there are lines added. There is also type of product, item, and quantity being specified, price, some variants, yeah, and some additional information which are required. And then clicked on OK, save, and close. Yeah, so this is basically how this process looks like. Seems simple. And why I'm talking about these variants here, because if you introduce an implementation, the new way of doing process will be shown here as a new variant. So we will be able to compare it with the previous one. And what's more, you will be able to see some additional information about, let's say, on average, how many steps it takes, how many users use it, what is average performance, and how much it actually costs. Yeah, so this is something that will be that would allow you actually to verify whether the optimization you introduced brought the results. And we can go even into more detail. So let's say that we are interested in the performance of the second variant of this process, and we want to see what users are actually doing. So here, what you guys see is a list of all executions of this process with information about in which company it was being performed, what users done it, when they've done it, what variant they've used, and some additional information as well. And we can dive in. And here, what we see is the exact steps they took. So actually, this may work as a good process documentation. We may decide to use it instead of creating our own. Why? Because as you can see here, we see every step that is involved in the process with such an information about how long it took, to perform this step. Also, what was the client time and server time? And what I mean by that, of course, server response time is quite obvious what it means, but client time here means that how long it took for the workstation of the user to respond. And it may be affected negatively, of course, by working on old equipment or computer, right? Or running some heavy applications like Visual Studio or Figma, or having multiple tabs open. So those may impact negatively the performance, and it will be shown if there is something wrong, if a step takes longer than expected. It will be, as you can see here, it will be marked in red, so just to get your attention and dive deeper into what happens. But that's not all. You can also click on a given step, and if this step has additional business context, I see that there is something wrong with the tool right now because it doesn't really load on my part. Yeah, I will need to see what happened. Yeah, but I guess we could see the business context, full business context of those tools. I will need to ask my team whether they're doing anything on this environment I'm presenting. Hopefully not. Yeah, so moving on, of course, you will be able to see business context with information about what was being typed, what values were being selected. And this way you actually have detailed process documentation. And we can also dive into some statistics like processes pivot. This is something that allows us to actually check what users are working on what processes, how long time they spend on it. So let's maybe narrow down some processes to not have so many, so make it more visible, better accessible. Yeah, and see here. Of course, this test data, so there is not much users here, but what it gives us information. We see, for example, that this first user is working on 4 processes, and during this year they spend this much time on those processes. Yeah, we see that, for example, in this case, this user is all the time working on creating new customers, but they've also had some time when and sales order as well are being only in February they were not doing it, but some additional processes like creating purchase orders or inventory journal happen only occasionally. Right, this is also information based on what we can actually also see how the workload is being given, right, distributed. But additionally, we can see how our project affected those people. So let's say that up to June, that we had this previous version of a process of creating customer, and since July this new version. So we can see that here we've got some quite big numbers of hours spent, but starting July they were significantly lowered. So it may indicate that our optimization worked. So this is a way of verifying the results, and also at the beginning of the project to actually identify what needs to be addressed. Yeah, because let's take a look here. Of course, this is mock data, but at some moment of time in June, this time needed to spend on creating customers peaked into such a great number, and if addressed correctly, very quickly it would be lowered without needing to make some additional recruitments and having more people work on them, right? So this is something also worth mentioning here. Okay, guys, I think that would be all for this presentation of the tool itself. So I think we can now move on to the Q&A part.
Hello back again. So now we're waiting for your questions. Feel free to send them. The more we get, the better. If there will be not enough time, then we will answer them offline. So we're waiting for your questions.
If you have any, guys, please write them down. Um,
So Sylvia, I have a question about repetitive activities.
yeah, we've got a
So
question here. Could you explain it?
yes.
Okay.
So the
Uh,
question is it possible to show processes in your app with repetitive activities?
Yeah, actually, you can. There is an, as you've probably seen, when I was showing you the tool itself, when I've shown that they have this additional menu in the tab in the table, which shows all the processes listed. When you can get additional information, that one of the additional information that you can display there is an information about the number of repetitive activities that are involved within those processes. So yeah, so if there are is there any redundant work being done in a process that requires typing the same values over and over again, then our tool will find it and will let you know that it is there, and you can
Sylvia,
also
perhaps,
then sort it and see it.
Sylvia, perhaps it's worth mentioning the result of our case study with one of our customers, just quickly about this feature. What did it help us to find out?
Yeah, guys. Actually, this problem with repetitive activities is quite common one, and we've got a customer who, when we've analyzed with our tool the processes they've got, it turned out that they had so many processes which involved repetitive activities that they've wasted a lot of time. And when we've actually addressed those problems, implemented some optimizations, and those were not complex optimization at all. They involved just some mini macros and things like that. Uh, and those they were able to save 1,100 hours per year on those optimizations. So it is, if we say $45 this is the rate of an accountant or a person working on such processes, then they were able just to assume it, we were able to save around $500,000 on only repetitive activities, right? So it's really mind blowing how it affected the organization.
I can see
Okay,
there is another question.
yeah, could you display it, please?
Yes, of course. So it's about data. So where is the data stored? So if we
I'm
record the data using Executive Explorer tool, where is it stored?
Yeah, I think this is what this question is about. It is actually stored in the database which belongs to our customers. So it is not like this that we will have it stored in our own environment, in our own databases. No, we know that security is very important for our customers to protect the data and who has access to it. And this is very sensitive data, let's be honest, because it involves, it includes business context. So this data is being stored in databases belonging to our customers, and they actually decide who else may have access to it. So no worries here.
Okay. So
Any more
shall
questions,
shall
guys?
we wait for more questions? As Sita said before, there is a lag between you send the questions and we get them.
I think
So
that people may be now preparing for this match, which
important
is
match.
yeah. But guys, I think we may finish a moments earlier. But if you've got still some questions, or if any come in later, after we finish, because as we said, this is this lag, we will of course get back to you and we'll answer you. So no worries here. Okay.
Perhaps
So
you can show our contact details, Sylvia.
yeah, of course. Here are our contact details. Please feel free to contact us, also to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss anything, any new materials we add. And so thank you very much for being with us here today.
Have a
I
good
hope.
match and
Yeah, exactly. Have a nice evening, and I hope that we'll be able to meet again. So once again, thank you and have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you all for attending, and see you next time. Bye-bye.